In high school, 3 little words shamed Reggie Dabbs. Those words were, "Hey, hey, hey," from the Fat Albert cartoon. And Reggie heard them frequently in the hallways. Now, 20 years later, Reggie's back in school, and here's why.
For more than 2 decades, Reggie Dabbs has been one of the most sought-after motivational speakers for public schools in the U.S. and around the world. Each year, he speaks to some 2.5 million students in school assemblies, amphitheaters, and churches. Reggie connects with students from all walks of life by bringing them a message of hope. He tells them that while they can't change their past, they can change their future.
Please welcome to the 700 Club, Reggie Dabbs. Reggie, it's great to have you
here. It's
here.
good to be with you today.
Your book is called Reggie, and the subtitle of the book is You Can't Change Your Past, but You Can Change Your Future. Tell us what happened to you at the age of 7 that really kind of rocked your world.
My mom and dad went to school for parent-teacher conference, and when we walked out of the classroom, all my friends were there with their parents, and I noticed all my friends' parents were young, and my parents were old. So as a kid, I thought, I might as well ask. So I yelled to the front seat on the way home, "Why y'all old?" and that was the day that they sit me down and told me I was in foster care.
And that really, even though you were in a very loving adoptive family, that really brought a lot of rejection and abandonment issues into your life. What did it make you feel?
Well, you see, the world always has a plan. But then, of course, God has a plan. And it seems like always you have to understand what the world wants to put you under so that God can bring you out. Yeah. And so the world will always label you things. My mom slept with a man for $20. That's how I was born. So that's the value that the world put on me. But God said, I'll give you my son. He'll pay the ransom so that you can do whatever I've called you to do.
And today you know that message, Reggie, but you had a long time where you were under the world's message, where you felt condemned by that.
Yes.
And how did God change you? How did you get that message that you were chosen, loved, planned for, celebrated?
I got it from my foster care parents, and I know you have foster kids as well, and I thank you for what you do for us, because boys like me wouldn't become men like me if it wasn't for a lady like you who would put me in their home and love me and take care of me. My mom, my real mom, gave me away to her favorite teacher at school. So I was raised by my mom's school teacher, and that teacher taught me everything. And her husband, they were church people. We went to church all the time. I remember at 10 years old, I was riding a city bus to school, and I ran into this man, and he had the same skin color as me. I'm not the darkest, I'm not the lightest. I call it Carmelo, all right? And I ran into him.
I call it pretty.
I said, "Thank you." I said, "Excuse me, sir." He said, "Excuse me, son." And when he did that at 10, something clicked in my mind. I said, "Oh, he's my dad." And I literally followed him to work. And there was security. He went in. I couldn't go in the building. I stood on the corner and I thought to myself, nobody cares. And I just stared at the ground and I cried. And I could feel the people walking by me. And I know they saw me crying, but nobody stopped.
It wasn't just the kids in the hall at school that teased you either. Even later in life, you had a professor that spoke a terrible word to you.
Yeah, I struggled in school. I had some hard times in schools, but that teacher, I guess now, of course, I have to look at it through the way Pat Robertson says, through good eyes, and that maybe they were trying to push me to become who I am today by saying that I wouldn't do anything. But and it did help me do that. But what I realized is words are words, but God's words are greater, you know? And that's why I finally put it in the book, my story of the grace of God, the love of God, and that no matter, maybe you're standing on the corner today and inside you're crying because you think nobody cares. Somebody cares for you.
You know, the enemy is called the father of lies, and he speaks those lies to us through other people, through our circumstances, but God's given you a great message today that you're bringing to kids around the country. We've only got a second, but can you share with us, what do you say when you speak to these kids?
Well, what I say is simply this. Every life has a history. Your past is your history, but it's not your destiny.
Exactly.
Jesus can be your destiny. And I know in the public school realm, I'm not able to say Jesus, but the characteristics that I have in my life are straight from the Word of God. And you can't take that out of who you are. Absolutely. So even though I'm going to public schools on their playing field, and still kids are like, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. And they go online, they hear about who I really am, and they find hope and faith. So what I tell kids is, never give up. No matter how you start, it's how you end up that counts.
Get a hold of more of that kind of truth in this book. It's called Reggie. You can't change your past, but you can change your future. It's available wherever books are sold. A wonderful message. Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
to have you here.
Thank you so much.